how to send request. Now, when you know the request for login logout, let's try it. The simplest way to send a request is to open your favorite browser and copy-paste the request in the address bar. We recommend that you use POST request. However, Wialon can also work with simple GET requests. For the training purposes of this tutorial, we will show examples using GET requests. As stated earlier, for any request we need the following information: host URL, service and command names, and parameters. And finally, the whole request will look like this. Notice that parameters can be sent with or without quotation marks. Wialon is smart enough to understand you, but values must be quoted. In this course, we will use Google Chrome browser. To see the coding results the way we show them, we recommend that you use this browser as well. Plus, you need a plugin for JSON parsing. Try it. If everything is right and you have received a response with EID, like the one you see here, congratulations, you have sent your first successful request to Wialon. But also, you can get an error response. To correct the error, delete all spaces and check the username and password. If we compare the response data with the format we saw on sdk.wialon.com, we will see that the data we have received as a response from Wialon is the same type as the data that we're supposed to receive. Specifically, we have received host information, EID, and user information. EID is a session identificator. Keep in mind that without new request, your session will be alive only 5 minutes. Moreover, if you set up too many sessions, you'll face limitations and will not be able to log in anymore. So, we recommend that you log out of the system whenever you don't need the session. For core logout request, we need to specify the session we want to work with. It can be done by sending additional parameter seed with the request. As mentioned on the documents page, parameter params is empty, but you need to specify it. So we need to use core logout command with empty params and seed. Guess how it looks? If you expected it would look as we show you, you were right. If your session is still alive, it will be cleared on the server and you'll get a success response. If it is already inactive, you will get an error response. Using Remote API. You can use Remote API for any programming language that can send HTTP requests. Here we'll show examples in several popular languages. PHP. We assume that you have already installed PHP and any web server to test it in your browser. Also, you need curl installed. We have created an index.php page. In the browser it is available at http localhost. For convenience, we will use the browser embedded in our text editor. At GitHub Wialon you will find a lot of repositories, including PHP Wialon. It contains PHP classes for Wialon Remote API and a usage sample. You can download it, clone it using Git, or copy raw data. We will copy the raw data. In the editor, we paste the raw data into the new file wialon.php. Now let's take usage sample from GitHub. When we execute the usage sample as is, we get error 7. It happens because we tried to get inaccessible information. So let's delete the line that gives us error and echo the result, which is response to login request. It contains all the information we saw in one of the previous examples. To log in as another user, simply change the parameters for login function to the desired ones. Now we have a login result for our user. To get a specific field from the response, we will use JSON decoded version of it. As we already know, session ID is EID param that we receive using JSON EID. It's just a string. But login response contains more complex parameters, for example for user. Here is user information. Specifically, it contains username, ID, and custom properties. Let's change standard Hello World greeting to Hello and specify the username. To do this, we need to get the name from the user data. And here is the result. Notice that after our process ended, we log out. Python. As in case with PHP, Remote API has Python implementation. An example of usage is available on this page. Python Wialon package can be installed using command pip install python wialon. Node.js. You can install Node.js and get a lot of useful information at nodejs.org. When you have Node.js installed, you can execute node and npm commands in your terminal. First, we need to create Wialon node folder and open it. Then, we create index.js file that will contain our program logic. In this file, let us print a simple message to console using console log command. Now we will check how it works in the terminal, running node index.js command. If you see start message, everything works well. To send a request, we will use request module. You can find it at npmjs.org. To install the module, let's execute npm install request in your terminal. After installation, Node modules folder and request module inside it will appear in your working directory. We will require the request module in our program. To do this, we will copy a usage example from npm.js. Correct username and password variables and the URL to resemble the request format shown in our tutorial earlier. The callback function determines the response processing logic. First, we will print the body. At this moment, the body represents a string. To work with it, let's convert it to JSON using JSON parse method and save it as result variable. Let's print user data. Since it's already JSON format, it is printed in terminal in an intelligible manner. Finally, let's print out hello user message adding hello phrase to the console log. Here we go. We will get session ID parameter. Session ID must be specified for every new request.